A young girl on the road.
On the road.
What did you experience lately?
So 3 days ago, done a trek through Mount Poon, part of the Annapurna range. So we started off firstly in Uluru. We walked up too many flights of stairs to get to somewhere called Gurupani. On the way, as we were walking on the way, I was in the front and my friend Romy was behind me, and then behind her was my other friend Molly, and we were walking along and we were just taking everything in the woods, and I'd walked forwards and my friend shouted, "Oh my gosh, there's a snake," and I panicked, got scared, turned around. My two friends were behind me and we looked down and we were looking at the snake, and she was like, "Jazz, you've nearly stepped on it." And we were filming it and we were looking at it and we were like, "Oh my gosh, that's a cobra." So it was a baby cobra. It wasn't big, but it was about this big. Got back, got some signal. My friend had Googled it and said how rare it is to see a cobra up there where we were at the time. We then, which was amazing, we felt so lucky to have seen a cobra. Before we started the trek, we were sat actually here speaking with the man who owns this restaurant, and he was saying, maybe you'll see a snake, maybe not, and we saw the cobra on our first day, so we felt very lucky to have seen it, and lucky to have not stepped on it as well, was one of the main things. Got to somewhere called Gurupani, spent the night there, and then woke up in the morning and we done another trek. So in the mornings I've realised that I'm not very good. I'm quite tired in the mornings on treks, and we had to climb actually 3,000 steps, step, first thing in the morning to meet the sunrise up on Mount Poon. Went up there. I'd bought this from one of the temples here, and I wanted to do some manifesting when I was up there. So we watched out onto the mountains as the sun was rising. I sat down and put this on for the first time. We came back down and we were meant to be doing a 5-day trek, so we started our third day. Had a nice meal the night before, woke up. As we woke up to start our third day, we looked out and the sun was rising over Fishtail Mountain. We saw Annapurna, and we were going to go to so we'd originally going to go to Jinu Dada, the place is called, from Talapani, but we hadn't had the route downloaded onto our phones, so we were getting directions from various guides and the lady who ran the hostel, who was a lovely lady, and they said, right, there's a new road that's been built, you can go this way and it's less uphill, it's more downhill. So we were like, okay, we don't want any more uphill, our calves were killing. So we set off in this route that we didn't know the way of. We just thought it was going to be direct. It turns out it wasn't. As we start walking through from Tadapani, I think it was called, to Jinu Dada, what we thought we were going to, we were walking along, having a great time. It was quite steep downhill, falling over a little bit. And then at one point, my friend Romy starts screaming. She's like, "Oh my gosh, there's leeches all over me, I laugh now, but at the time it was very stressful. We looked down and she's got leeches all in her shoes, and she had Air Forces on, and they were trying to get into the little holes in her Air Forces. And we was like, right, girl, stop panicking. Got them off, but as we started getting them off, more were just coming all over our shoes. So we flicking them off and we were like, right, we just need to go. So we started walking, and we realised when we were stopping, they were climbing out of the leaves and getting onto our shoes. So we just got to keep going. By this point, it had taken a bit of a stressful turn, the trip. We were trying to get to Jinu Dada. We didn't know the way. We got to a fork point, and it was, one way was just to go up the hill and the other way was just to go down. It wasn't signposted or anything, so we were like, okay, we'll just go the left way, because we could see the road that we were meant to be on. We'd done a left. As we were walking, it kind of came to a bit of a dead end. There was a choice between whether to go through the woods to get down to the bottom, or to kind of scale down this cliff face like this. And because of the leeches, we said, no, we're not going through the woods. We knew they were all in the leaves. Someone then told us later on that apparently they drop down from the trees when they hear movement coming past, so you could have them in your hair and things like that. So we got to this cliff face that was like this, and we said, right, we're just gonna have to do it. My friend Molly went down first. It was because it had been raining and it wasn't like a path, it was so slippy trying to get down. We made it down to the bottom, sat on the edge of the road because we'd finally got to the road, and we could see what we thought was Ginu Dada. And we were like, right, sat down, had a drink. We were like, right, let's go. Started walking towards it. We were still in like, I want to say high spirits, but we weren't in high spirits. We were a bit stressed out about what had happened. Get to this calf and we were saying, oh, okay, is that Ginu Dada? And she was like, no, that's Gandruk. So we'd gone all this way, the wrong way. We were meant to go to, as I say, we wanted to visit the hot springs, and apparently there's beautiful views from where we were trying to go. Got to Gandruk, so we were like, okay, we'll just go there. Went to Gandruk. As we were sat down, we were like, right, we'll just refuel. We were eating our food, and we were sat there, and then an earthquake happened, and it wasn't long, but it was a few seconds, and it was enough to like shake us up a little bit. It started pouring down with rain. I had thought the earthquake was a landslide, but it wasn't. It was actually an earthquake. It started pouring it down with rain, and by that point we realised everything that had happened thus far. The leeches situation, having to scale down this cliff face, get into the wrong village, the earthquake, the pouring rain, and we just said to ourselves, like, we were meant to do a 5-day trek, but we had come to the conclusion that actually it was our time to leave. We decided, even there it just gave me shivers because we had to get out of there. So we were like, it was amazing, we still had the best time, but yeah, we took all of these things as a sign to say, yeah, we need to leave. So once the rain had we started walking in the rain and we were soaked through, and we sat down for a bit. We bumped into a guide who was we bumped into him a few times before, and they were leaving as well. And we kind of thought, this is our time to leave. So we managed to find a Jeep and get ourselves out of there. But it was an amazing experience for us. It was my first trek, and it was, meditative is the word for it. It was hard work. You battle through your mind, not just your body. Your calves are so sore, but you have to fight your mental the whole time, because what I was saying is, you get to, when you're walking up the stairs, especially when we got summiting Poon Hill, it's just step, and as I say, 3,000 steps of just step, and you get to one point and you look up, and then there's another 100 steps, and you just know you have to put your head down, get up them steps. And I've learned a lot in terms of to listen to myself, to listen to our intuition, and to call it a day when it's ready to call it a day. Yeah.